Okay, let me introduce myself from start. My name is Roman. I'm from Ukraine. I work as a product analyst in a company called Bini Games. We created mobile game application for preschool children. I'm on this position for more than 2 years. And if I can help you with your question about data analytics, about product analytics, about starting career in this sphere, I will be glad to do it on this session.
Yeah, yeah. Before anything, let me introduce myself too. So,
Mhm.
my name is Akhil Bodhi, and I'm from India. So, I'm a recent graduate in Bachelor's of Data Science, and been learning in public. Especially, I tweet every day and what I learn in Twitter,
Mhm.
and been
Yeah,
doing that
I
from
saw
the
it.
last six.
Cool.
Yeah, been doing that from the last 6 months, and as of now, I'm about to apply to companies. So, so as I said before, I would like to know what gets their attention, what kind of candidates they look out for, and what should be us in order to stand out among all the people.
Mhm. Uh, you talk in case of as a data scientist or data analyst
Data
or
analyst,
what?
data analyst
Mhm,
as a beginner, but yeah, in future data scientist. But yeah, so the thing here is that it's not just about the position, but also the process.
mhm,
So, what do actually, if you were a hiring manager, that would be a better question. If you were a
mhm.
hiring manager, what would you look out for in a candidate, in a fresher, to be more specific?
Yeah, so you have to understand. You have to look on yourself, on your profile, on your resume, on your LinkedIn, and so on from the perspective of recruiter. So the company has some job position, and this company wants to hire someone on this position, and it have to be the most valuable person that they can find. So the company wanted to like prove for themselves that you are really this valuable person, that you can be hired by this company and so on. So I believe in a couple of things. Of course, it is like writing communication. So before you even talk with recruiter, you have to apply on this. And I believe in a couple of things as first your LinkedIn profile, second your portfolio projects, also your LinkedIn profile as a static page, and also what stuff you post there and so on. Also, I like to see on GitHub profile because it is also valuable. Also, your cover letter. It's what your first point in communication, and all this stuff in comparing can help you to stand out among others. And I saw some of your stuff and also wanted to discuss it during this session.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, the cover letter, the resume, and the portfolio website, and the LinkedIn. So,
Mhm.
how should a fresher should frame those? If I hope you've gone through my portfolio website, if I'm not wrong,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I have no idea how to do it. I just look out. I looked some YouTube videos and I just made that out. And the same with the LinkedIn, and the same with the projects that I did. But how should a beginner should frame their portfolio website, and how
Mhm.
should they make out their resume, and what are the projects that they must build in order to get the recruiters and the organizations attention, and how
Mhm.
should the kind of words, to be more specific, the kind of words that one must use in cover letters or in resumes to tell the recruiters that okay, I am good for what you're looking for.
Do you have some example of your cover letter already?
I've got no cover letters. The cover letter
Oh.
thing is the new thing to me, but I've got some
Mhm.
resumes and all that. So what I did was I listed out my skills, like SQL, Python,
Mhm. Mhm.
Excel, and Tableau, and what I excel in each and every one of them. So what am I good at? And the next
Mhm.
is my education, bachelor's of data science, and the third is the projects that I worked on, the personal projects that I worked on, like stock analysis with Python, the data cleaning and data analysis with SQL, and the dashboards that I made in Excel and Tableau. And in the end, I went for the courses that are in through Coursera. What are the courses that I did?
Okay,
And from the links.
we now talk about CV or cover letter because for cover letter it is like a
No, no,
huge
absolutely.
stuff.
I have absolutely no idea about car letter.
Mhm.
It's all about the resume.
Yeah, so let's stop with the cover letter. So I believe that cover letter have to be consist of two parts, in my view. So first, it's first point where you introduce yourself for recruiter. So first have, I believe, have to be like your presentation. So you talk that, okay, here I am, my name is like this, I'm a fresher, I have this education, and so on and so forth. It's this part will be similar on every position that you apply, because it's you will be the same or in all position and so on. But the second one have to be like your answer to this recruiter why I am eligible for this position. So you have to prove. So okay, recruiter has some lists and list of this technology, of language, of skills that you have to have for this position. And your job is to answer on every this requirement. Is it you're really eligible for it? For example, if this position requires knowledge of A/B testing, you can write you finish some courses about A/B testing, you have some projects about A/B testing, and so on. If this position requires knowledge of Tableau, you have to write it, post your Tableau dashboards and so on. But is this position doesn't require some knowledge of Power BI, for example, you don't have to write down it. So it's don't not have to be the same cover letter that you just once wrote, and then you apply it on every position. I believe that you have to like tune it, edit it every time when you apply it on some position, because it will be more relevant and recruiter understands that you really work on it. It's not like one cover letter that you copy every time. So it's like two parts cover letter: your introduction and your answering about why you are the most eligible person for this. So with real facts. So with your certification, with your projects, in every technology. Because okay, you yeah, like we meet each other 10 minutes ago. I without looking at your projects, I can tell if you really know Python, if you really know Tableau, and so on. So you can say me about it. So, oh, I know this stuff, but I may believe, I may not believe, and so on. And only with the help of projects and so on, I can really understand if you're really this person. Because you have to understand in recruiter's position. So this person receives some information from hiring manager, like some head of analytics, head of data science, that this team looks for new specialists. And recruiters received some requirements that what is this person have to look on all the resume and CV. And if you didn't explain it, what your knowledge in every of these requirements and so on, recruiter have to do it by herself or himself, like look on your CV and try to find some familiar words and so on, or try to use some ATS system and so on. So I believe that you have to do part of job from recruiter, and explain all this stuff that if and on every technology. You don't have to be scary if you don't know some technology, some tools that this company require. So you, in my case, I like honestly wrote it down that okay, in this case, for example, I don't know what it can be, like Google Data Studio. I didn't use it any day, so I honestly will write that I didn't know any of this tool, but I work with Power BI. I know Tableau. I believe that I can learn it very quickly, and so on. So in my view, cover letter is very important. It's like your presentation, your first presentation to the recruiter, because recruiter there are different platform and so on, but some of them requires or like if you wanna, you can send cover letter, and it is like explanation. The recruiter may not even look on your CV, but can see your cover letter.
So cover letter is more like a face of the candidate, right? Just by looking at that, they would tell that. Looking
Can you
just by
repeat?
looking at the candidate, they would decide whether we should go with this person or not. Is that
Yeah,
what you meant?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like your cover letter and your CV, it is like the main, and also recruiter sometimes looks on LinkedIn profile because maybe CV not fully explain yourself and so on. Yeah, so maybe what type of content you post on LinkedIn, how you interact with each other, CV can tell about it, and this person can go to your profile.
Okay. So as I questioned you earlier, sorry. So
Mhm.
what are the, what should I call them? The tools or the specific languages, the specific things that you look out for in a fresher. If you are a recruiter, what would you look out for in a
Uh,
fresher?
we talk about hard skill, right?
Yeah, hard skill and soft skill
Tools,
both.
languages, and so on.
Yeah.
I believe that it is similar in every country in the world. So I will talk about only data analyst position because I know it good. I didn't look enough attention enough for data scientist position. So firstly, it have to be SQL, of course, because without it you can even grab data sets and so on. Second, I believe it have to be BI systems. It's I saw Power or Tableau and on your profile, but I didn't see Power BI. I
No,
don't know
sorry.
if you.
Sorry, the thing
Oh
is,
yeah, so mhm.
yeah, sorry, please continue. Please.
Yeah, so it's like a lottery in in different country. It is like this ratio differentiate, but it's like in my view, it's half like 50-50% popularity on this BI system. So okay, you learn Tableau, you know it good. A company that required knowledge of Tableau for creating dashboards, you will be eligible candidate for them. But in case of companies that require Power BI knowledge, other candidates can be more eligible than you. Of course, you can say that, okay, I don't know it, but I can learn it as fast as Tableau and so on. But still, if some other candidates already know this stuff, it he or she may be better candidate for this job. So I believe that it is like a lottery. So you have to learn both of them. And then if you will receive an offer from some companies that used only one BI system, you have to learn better this one and forget for some time for this another one. Yeah, it is second place. Yeah, do you have a question?
So about the Python thing, Python and
Yeah,
R.
it's Python. In my view, it's not on the first place. So in my view, the third have to be statistics, and especially A/B statistic connected to A/B testing. Especially if you work with some IT companies that tech companies that have their own products. So application, desktop application, mobile application, maybe some e-commerce site. So and on B2C market where there's a lot of customers and you can provide some A/B testing with it. You have to know at least statistical theory behind A/B testing and also provide some analysis of data sets, A/B test data set, for example, on Kaggle and so on. So you can, before you will start working on some company, you can launch some A/B testing because you don't have some product, you don't have some audience, but still you have to understand the theories that stay behind the A/B test. Next one, in my view, have to be knowledge of product metrics, because again, if you work with some product, with some company that have their product, your work as the data analyst will be in helping the product team to increase some valuable metrics. And it will be hard to increase some metrics if you don't know what this metric about. So what is LTV, what is RPU, what is conversion rate, what is retention rate, what is churn rate, and so on, because your work will be in increasing good metrics and trying to decline some bad metrics. And how you calculate it without knowing what it is, how you can help this team to grow it will be impossible. And in my view, the last place will be on Python. because like I don't talk about machine learning, about data science, because of course Python will be on the first place there, because you can't do any machine learning without Python. But if we talk about data analysis, it's like you can, if it's not large data set, you can provide some analysis even in Excel, Google spreadsheet, with some BI system also, even on SQL if you write some long query enough and so on. So like Python, in my view, it is for more can give you more advanced skills, ability to work on more advanced level with data set, but it is not something that maybe require on your first position when you're junior or trainee specialist and so on. Of course, it will help you, especially when you're working with some large data sets, for example, like 1 million rows. It will be hard for some Google spreadsheet or Excel to deal with it, or 5 million rows, 10 million rows, and so on. The most huge data set, the easier it will be working in Python, especially, I don't know, Google Jupyter, Jupyter Notebook or Google Colab and so on. But still, I see that it is not the main tools. So you have to have good knowledge of SQL, you have good knowledge in data visualization, and so on. And only after this, it will be Python. Especially also, why not Python among the first? For example, you provide some analysis. And if you wanted to share this analysis in your Jupyter Notebook with your product manager, it is very lower chance that product manager had already installed Anaconda or Jupyter Notebook and so on, and you can share it as easily as it is in Google Spreadsheet case. So in Google Spreadsheet, everybody use it, everybody can open it and work with them. But in Python, you have to like save in some other format or create screenshots and then go to like pass it to some presentation and so on. It's harder. So it is like this.
So I think that kind of cleared out the most of the thing that I had.
Mhm,
And coming back to this, as I've read your blogs, this
mhm.
project thing, you chose that Spotify project, right? Even I've got
It's
even.
not me, not me. It's my friend. It's my friend
Oh
who
my
work
god.
as a data engineer. Yeah, he decided to create this Spotify stuff. It's partly data analyst project because it's require dashboards, but also it is partly data engineer project because he goes to Spotify IP, he grabs some data twice a day, and then like music taste of Ukraine and all the like neighbor countries.
So in the same way, I've got a lot of ideas on what to work on, but the thing is, how do you approach that particular thing? There are a lot of projects out there and a lot of people who have already done those projects, but what must be our basic things in looking at in a project? I mean, and what should we look out for? The basic things, and how should our approach be? Being a data analyst and in data analyst perspective, what should our approach be while looking at the
Mhm,
data?
mhm.
The
Yeah.
basic
So
thing.
when we talk about portfolio project, I think firstly, of course, it have to be connected to these technologies that you applying for. So if this job require, for example, knowledge Tableau knowledge, it's not so good to add projects that's about Power BI dashboards and so on. So if this company doesn't have their product, their didn't have some A/B test culture, it's not make sense to also apply with the project that's about analysis of A/B tests and so on. So it have to be relevant by technology, by ideally by products, and so to this company. It's first. Second, I believe it's better to have some complex project, one project that connects some different technologies and different a lot of different one. So if you can have some data set and you can like analyze it with the help of Python, then you can create dashboards in Tableau with the same data set but with some different points and so on. So for hiring manager or for recruiter, it is always easier to see one big project than a lot of little one and so on. Also, I believe that portfolio projects have to be connected with passion. So it's not something that you created only because you have to apply and it is boring topic, you don't like it, but you decided to do it because you find this data set and so on. So the better way, it's connected to some questions that you have. For example, in this my friend's case, yeah, he was interested about how similar or how different musical tastes people in Ukraine and people like in Poland, Slovenia, and neighbor country. So it was just questioned. He was interested in: is it similar enough? Is it different enough? What about American, some USA song? Maybe if some song became a hit globally, it's also will be a hit on Spotify in these countries and so on. So it started something that he passionate for. So another my mentee, for example, she was passionate about Olympic gymnastics. So gymnastic on Olympics game, yeah, and she also liked it, and she created this stuff connected to it. So it have to be some questions that you're interested in answer, and why it is matter, why it is better than just creating some data, some analysis that like not interesting for you, but you have to do it because when you, for example, on some job interview, when you will explain this stuff, your eyes will be much brighter, you will be more active, you will be smiling because it's something connected to your passion, it's something that you're interested about and you wanted to share with it. And if you just talking about some projects that you created like routinely because it's good to have some project, yeah, it will be not so passion. Of course you can maybe present it, maybe some imitate like passion and so on, but it's not enough for me. Yeah.
I kind of actually did that already. Not
Mhm.
not liking the project, but doing it for the sake of doing it. And see, I do have ideas, but so what do you mean by that? Is just going for trial and errors, right? We might not get everything that we're doing. And let's say for SQL, I might not know everything that I'm doing now, but just to clear out the questions that we have about the data set, we must do it, right? That's what you meant, right?
Can you repeat it in another way because I didn't understand exactly?
Yeah, sorry. So just having an idea and exploring on it, even though we might not know
Mhm.
everything about it or how to do it, we must explore on it. That's what you meant, right? So see, the thing is,
What do you mean by not? I don't understand context. What do you mean by not knowing how to do it? How to do like not knowing some Excel commands, or how knowing not knowing what?
so I don't know how to perfectly frame this question. I'm not getting it. But the
Mhm.
thing is, say that I have to answer a particular question in a data set,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
in order to query that, there are certain functions that I've got to use, but I don't know the functions. I don't know how to get the answer, the specific answer that I'm looking for from the data set. So what do you mean by
Yeah,
that is
but in this case, it is like I believe that you learn the most in this case when you're trying to do something, but you don't have an answer yet. So you try, for example, how to you have like a event timestamp. It is like large numbers in seconds that database give you, and so on. And you decided that you wanted to receive day of the week from this event timestamp. You don't know how to do it right now. You have to Google it. You have to maybe ask ChatGPT. Yeah, you try it. You maybe fail it, and so on and so on. And in this case, believe me, when you finish it, when you understand how to do it, you remember it, and it will become part of your skills. And when you don't know something, it's before almost every analysis that I do on my work, I don't know how to do it, especially if there's some new function, new feature. I don't work with it before and so on. But I try to research it, try to like Google something, stuff like this, try to just look at the data set and see and try to visualize it. And then with the time, I understand how to deal with it. So it's like in this case, in this profession connected with data, we never will have all the answers. And for me, it is wonderful because we always have to learn. We always have not to stay on one place, and so on. Yeah, so you ask, for example, this question. You ask yourself this question. You even maybe didn't find the answer in the end, but maybe this, when you're researching it, you will find some other interesting insight, and you can reframe your question, because nobody's watching you. Nobody's knowing what question was at the beginning and what answers will be at the end. So you can like change it, pivot like startups and so on. But it's have to stay with some start with some hypothesis, with some questions that you wanted to explain, and then it's maybe you change the subject of your research because you see something interesting, something strange, some outliers, and you try to research why these outliers happened, and with these outliers maybe you find something incredibly interesting, and you try to do it the center of your research.
So another one of the biggest questions that I have is
Mhm.
understand the data. I've realized that lately, but whenever I started working on a project, I'm just I've got this question, I've got to answer this, but I'm not putting much focus on the data. I'm not understanding it much. So a beginner, how must one deal with the data? Just like looking at the data set, what they must should go through before starting the
I
project.
believe. Yeah. So there are stuff like domain knowledge, and it is very valuable, and it is hard to understand before you working on some company, some product for at least, I don't know, a couple of months and so on. But still, so you receive some data set. It is from some industry, like some groceries, selling stuff, some medical, some maybe mobile apps, games, and so on. So you have to understand every column. I started from I understand every column, from like event date. Okay, this is a date where event happened. Okay, country of customer. So there are some very easy columns that you already understand from the meaning, but there may be some more different, like I don't know, like blood types or blood, so on and so forth. So you have to Google it, like this domain stuff, and maybe sometimes even if you can't understand some specific domain stuff, you can even ask some, or Google it, or ask even person who already work in this case, and so on. So for example, in my case, when I analyze some data connecting to ads monetization, because our apps had monetization in Android, yeah, so I can go to ads manager in our company, because like they work a lot with especially ads monetization. It's their day-to-day job. They work only with ads monetization. Of course, they understand ads monetization much more better than I am, who work with it not like often, but who have this data set and who have some problems with the ads and wanted to understand why, for example, our ads revenue decline or why our ads revenue increase, and so on. So it's totally normal to, if you know, for example, you work with some medical data set, for example, connected, I don't know, with blood sugar blood level, and so on. So if you know someone who like study, for example, medicine in university, you can go to this person to ask some question about this data set, because you can understand why this column is important, what it is, and so on. So it is not there are no some magic button or magic bullet for to understand, to receive some domain knowledge very quickly. So you grab some data set with domain knowledge, I don't know, like construction building. So, and if you didn't study it in university, it will be hard to understand some stuff about pressure, about material, and so on. So you can consult with someone who already worked with this, and because okay, you will analyze this data set and you have to receive some insight, and it will be hard for you to receive some insight without knowledge or in domain sphere. So it is not I didn't find easy answer, but you have to understand every part of this data set, understand connection with it, and it will be impossible without a little bit researching on this domain in which you try to provide analysis.
Okay. So yeah, even when I'm going through all of your, even when I'm going through all of your blogs, sorry,
Mhm.
watching. Even when I'm going through all of your blogs, I've seen a lot of A/B testing and all that. Though
Mhm.
this word isn't new to me, but I don't know what actually it is. So I would like to know what A/B testing from you.
Yeah, A/B testing. It's the for me it's the easiest way to prove or disprove some hypothesis. So it works only when we have a lot of customers. So for example, I don't know, like at least 1,000 people a day download our apps. So we have like these people who comes to our app, and of course we always try to develop our app and we try to launch some new features, some new functionality, and so on. But it is very risky to launch to launch some new feature on all our subscribers or on all our clients, on all people who install our app. So we have to deal with this risk, because if, for example, we launch some new feature and customer don't like it, will not like it, it will be failure, we lose money, we lose customers, and so on and so forth. So we decided that we wanted to divide our audience on two parts. First part will be the same. We will not launch new feature on them. They received old design, the same stuff as usually. Our app will not change for them. But for other second part, we launch this feature and we see how this customer will use it, how they deal with it, what the app's metric will be there, if they like or not, if subscription rate increase or not. And then we can, after some time, we can compare their metrics. For example, how long they use the app. For example, people who install our app like and received old design and received new design, if it differ enough. So maybe this customer with new design, maybe they like to subscribe to our app more because they like it better, because they like this feature and so on. Or maybe they subscribe less, or we didn't see any changes and so on. So it is like tools that a lot of big company use. I don't know what, if you look on Facebook, Instagram, Uber, and so on and so forth. So a lot of you will reach in some A/B testing without even knowing about it. Yeah, so because it is like a good tool to prove your hypothesis or disprove it, and to launch something and understand is it valuable enough or not. So big companies that had like millions or billions customers, for example, like Facebook and so on, they even made launch A/B test in some special country. They don't, they have some new features, they don't know if it worth or not worth enough, and they may use, for example, I don't know, in Philippines or New Zealand and so on. So it's some not large country, and they can see what how customers use with this new feature, and then launch it on the whole world if this A/B test will be successful, or decline it and don't launch in any country. So you have to know A/B testing if you wanted to apply in some companies that have their product and work on B2C market. So if some company has some mobile application, it is 95% chances that they work with A/B testing, and they are data analysts or data scientists, because sometimes it is like part of the job for data scientists. They will launch design A/B test, launch A/B test, and then analyze some A/B test. Yeah, so it is a large part of some data analyst job.
Seems like I'm lacking a big part. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
It's more about statistics, because yeah, it's a lot of large people, amount of people, and we have to compare two metrics, and we have to say if the detail. Of course, this two metric will be different, because it is almost impossible for them to be the same. But you have to say it is different because of just random chance, or it is different because we launch this feature, and this feature has some effects, negative effect or positive effect, and we have to make some decision at the end. We will launch this feature on the whole audience, or we will remove this feature from our projects and forget it as bad dream.
Now we've got more idea about A/B testing and all. So talking about the math, as you said, math isn't that easy to learn and all
Mhm.
that. So the role that mathematics plays, what role does it
Uh,
play in everything?
yeah, it's more valuable in data science because there are much complicated math in my view. With data analytics positions, there are statistics. It's more than most valuable because you always deal with a huge data sets with millions of rows with different information, and you have to always to aggregate it to find, for example, average or mean, and so on, or standard deviation, and or this normality distribution, and without statistics it will be impossible. And also A/B testing require a lot of statistics knowledge of this. I may advise you, I had this book, like,
I've got that book, yeah.
oh yeah, so it is. In my view, it is like enough if you read it and if you understand it, and also maybe if you try on Python, because they have like this GitHub repository, and if you try it with your hands, this data set and with this statistical concept, it will be enough for you for work. I don't know about data science, but at least with in data analyst case, it will be enough. Yeah, so there are also a chapter about A/B testing, about testing hypotheses, and so on. So yeah, if you have this book, there are this chapter, and you have to read it and understand. So it's wonderful book. It's the only book on statistics that I recommend, and it helps me a lot. Even on my job interview when I received my first job as a data analyst, I just read it, and after a couple of days, I had this job interview, and some questions that I was asked, I just tell answer from this book as I remember it, because it was fresh at that time. Yeah, so it helps me, and I'm glad that this book exists.
So you talking about data analysts and all that, and it's been a while since you started this position, right? It's been 3 years, if I'm not wrong.
2 years, 2 years, not
Okay.
so large, yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen people, going from data analyst to data scientist or data engineer and all that. So why did you stick to this product analyst position? You could have just jumped, right? So why not?
Jump where to data
I,
science?
I mean to another position, yeah, data science and data engineering and all.
No, it's in data engineering. It's, in my view, it is totally different stuff. Yeah, so there are a lot of Python, and it's not. Yeah, you have to know SQL, but still, it is like very far away from data analyst position. So for data analyst, there are like a couple of possible career paths. So firstly, data analyst may go as in here, like grow in seniority. So you're junior data analyst, then you middle, senior, team leader, head of analytics, and you became more and more valuable as a data analyst. Second one is product manager, because as you work with some product, some application, you already know it, you are good at metrics, you work with developers, quality assurance engineer, and so on and so forth. So you have these analytical skills, you have to grow your manager skills, and then take more and more responsibility for the product, and manage the team. So it's like typical case when data analyst became product manager, because it's I don't know, grow their responsibility for product, and so on. And third one is data scientist, because data analysts already know how to work with data, how to analyze it. This person has to learn machine learning, and then combine this machine learning stuff and data analyst stuff, and became data scientist. In my view, I didn't divide data analyst from product analyst. In my view, product analyst is data analyst who work with some product. For example, mobile application, desktop application, e-commerce site, and so on. Marketing analyst, it's someone who work with marketing campaign for this product, for user acquisition on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and so on and so forth. There are other different like financial analyst and so on and so forth. So, but it's depending on with which stuff data analysts work. So I applying on data analyst position, and then when I receive an offer, I understood that okay, I will be in marketing department, so I call my position marketing analyst. Then with some time in company proposed me to go to product analyst position. I decided that it's interesting. I already know some marketing analytics, and it will be interesting to study, to learn some product analytics. And then I switched to this stuff. But still, the tools the same, like SQL, BI system, statistics, Python, product metrics, and so on. It's only different with what kind of data I work with.
So coming back to this interview thing, like, in your opinion, what was that thing, or what were those things, according to you, that made you to be in this position today? And the reason,
Yeah, good. Say it.
Yeah, in your perspective, what I mean is, in your perspective, the reason why they recruited you.
You talk about recruiters interview or hiring or technical interview?
When you apply to this particular position, you've got this job, right? You got this position, right? So according to you, what were that thing, or what were those skills that made them to recruit you?
Okay, I think the most valuable, what paid attention, what helped me stand out among the other was my, I don't know how to explain it, data geeky stuff. So my story, I work 7 years, I work with communication, so social media marketing and so on and so forth. Then I quit my job, and I decided that I have 7 months for finding some new job. So I start learning data analytics, and I decided that okay, I have some money that I can live for 7 months without work, and I have studied. And then I calculate that 7 months, it may be like 1,000 hours of learning. If we talk about 6-7 hours a day, and this week that left, I quit in May. At the end of May, so I have 7 months, and I have 1,000 hours with good quality brain work. And I try to track this time. So every time, for example, I started learning Python. I use Toggle Tracker. It's wonderful tracker, free tracker for time, and I on this button, and I start my tracking time with Python. When I stop learning, I click off this button, and so on. And when I apply on some position, in my cover letter, I can explain when I introduce myself. So good morning. My name is Roman. I try to transition myself to data analyst position. I decided that I have 1,000 hours for that, and for now I learn for 412 hours. During this time, I learned this stuff. And of course, when a recruiter looked at it, it's like it's maybe work for data analyst, because data analyst is someone who work with numbers, who have to be some kind of geeky and stuff. Because maybe if it's about artists, about some, I don't know, more creative profession and so on, this numbers, this attention to numbers, it may scare people. But in my case, it was like people look at it and wow. And I believe that no one from other candidates didn't do that stuff, because it already sounds strange, but people pay attention to it. In my case, I believe. And after I received invitation for interview, then the last one I have just to prove that it is really this number correct, and I really know this stuff and so on. But I believe that this helped me to pay attention to me.
Well, that's absolutely inspiring. Then I've got to start doing that. Yeah.
You can do it. But even for yourself, like about tracking time, it's even useful for yourself, so you know how many time you spend on learning and so on. So and what, for example, you learn for a week, you learn, I don't know, like for 10 hours. What percentage of this you use, for example, in my case, like in English or in Python or in SQL and so on, and you see what stuff, how many hours you spend on some discipline and so on.
Yeah, right. So
I would like to go to your LinkedIn and give you some advices.
sure.
Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, and then we can continue to wait, share screen. Okay. So, do you see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Firstly, I advise you to remove this stuff because it looks like some robot with numbers and so on. So your URL have to be like LinkedIn in with your name. How to do it? There is this profile and URL stuff. This pencil. And you click on it, and then you just like edit it. What you like, what URL you wanted to have, if anyone have it, so you can use it, and it is more good looking than it is numbers. Next one, you can pass the link here, like in this case, with 30 characters, maybe some emoji that pay attention, because it is like it's a header, and it is the most valuable part of your page, because if person click on your page, he or she sees this stuff, and there have to be your portfolio. Next one, about your post. So I believe that people, so you have like 500 followers, but when you post some documents, so it's like your certification, it's to be honest, and nobody's interested in it, because it's just like certifications. They all the same on different courses and so on, and if I go deeper, almost all of your post is your certification. So I believe there have to be okay, you can explain that you finish these courses, that you have this certification and so on, but you have to explain it from your point of view firstly. So why this certification is valuable, what you learn from it and so on. So it have to be also, maybe among your followers are people who also already learn data analytics, maybe some recruiters, so on. So you have to give some value for people. So you have to explain from your point of view, because people follow you, people interested in you, and it will be interesting to hear your voice more than just like, I think it's some automatic text, right? Because it is all over the same.
It's
like
the same template.
Yeah. So it have to be different, and it have to be yours. And also, I believe that it have to be your photo that you passed here. Maybe if you wanted to show this certification, maybe you can print this certification, grab it in your hand, and have a photo with it. But there have to be your photo. For example, like in my case, I wrote about some data analytics stuff, but I always try to post photo with myself, because like pictures with people, they're more valuable, people more like it than just documents and so on. Even if I explain about some stuff that's connected to data analytics, that's not entirely about me, I just give some advice for people, like in these blogs that I previously sent you. But still, there have to be you, because people follow you. You have these followers. It's people who behind you and who interested in you especially. Yeah. Also, to be honest, I didn't think that this university, it's like some voluntarily stuff, right?
Right.
So you don't have pay for it. So there is a voluntarily section on LinkedIn. Wait a minute. Where you can share that you have this volunteering position and so on. So it is good that you have this stuff like this, volunteering. It's especially for some your activity that you didn't receive pay, but you try to do some good stuff for environment, for community, for animals, and so on and so forth. So it have to be there, because I believe that in experience it is better like stuff that you paid for. Also about this full, like this some educational system, right? Program and so on. Yeah, so it have to be in this education stuff also with it. And if do you have some projects or some maybe some final project about from this education?
Yeah, so I discontinued it because it wasn't that interesting, and I haven't learned much from it. But I do have some projects, and I've been
you
publishing them
you
on my
even
portfolio.
if it, yeah, even if this is not so interesting, but you can pass it to this, especially to show that this of course people understand that it is old project because it was like 1.5 year ago and so on, but still that you have project connected to especially this time of your life and so on. So I believe it is better to add it. Yeah. Also, I don't know. It's look like the same. I try always to path to finish some different courses, and for this picture at least to be different. Previously it was three items that was on main page. For now it is two, and so on. So maybe what's this university from? So I
It's
sometimes
it's
find.
from Coursera, IBM.
So you can add not Coursera but IBM. For example, I try to do this stuff from what university it's from. For example, if this course was from Stanford Online, I try to find Stanford Online and so on. Because to be honest, it is just boring. Always have these Coursera pictures. Yeah, but you can add IBM here because it is like IBM who provides the specialty. And in my view, it is better looking than this. Wait a minute, I will try to show. Oh, for example, yeah, like I finished this course on Coursera, SQL for data science, but it was a specialization from University of California. And I tried to find it and add it, and it is more good looking than Coursera. What else I have? Um, like that, it's from Udemy, but I didn't pass only Udemy. I passed this other institutions that had their courses on Udemy. Oh, like this one in IBM, the same. Like Introduction to Data Analysis. I at IBM. It is for me. It is not so boring as Coursera, but still, it is all courses was from Coursera. And next one, recommendation. So it is also valuable to have recommendation for, it's like social proof that all the people like you, they like, it's not about hard skill, but about soft skills. So these people who work with you, they said good stuff about your organizational skills, your communicational skills, that you are a good team player, and so on and so forth. So you can ask some people with whom you previously worked, or maybe with whom you learned previously, and ask for at least a couple of sentences. And you can write it for them, and they will write it for you, and so on. Also, with the skills, my advice is to ask people to endorse your skills, because for now, like I didn't see that anyone in the world can prove that you really know this stuff. So it's also about social proveness. So other people like believe that you know this stuff, or can say that you know this stuff. So it's the same stuff. You endorse other people skills and ask other people to endorse your skills. So on. Yeah.
So I wasn't aware
Stuff
about
like
that, the volunteer thing. So all of my experiences would go for volunteer then.
all of your experience. What?
All of my experiences that I've disposed of there, all of them are volunteer.
Uh,
So I wasn't aware of that volunteer
and
thing.
this stuff also. This
Even
stuff
that, even that,
also.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
Maybe left here this one, but all the stuff I don't
oh,
think. Oh no, internship. It's still like working experience. It's non. So you can. I believe I remove it to education section, this to volunteering section, and this two I left here. We left here.
okay.
Yeah. Also, with the skills, there are some stuff like LinkedIn test assignment. It's also about social proofness. So you can, like this demonstrate skills, you can pass this test and receive, if you received it, if you passed it as a 30% best, who try to finish this score test, you will receive this badge. It's also about social proofness. It's LinkedIn said that you really have the skills, at least the skills in top 30% people. Yeah. I believe that that's enough that I can tell you about LinkedIn. And also with the GitHub, my advice to you, be more consistent.
Yeah,
So
I've been.
you learn every day, as you wrote on your Twitter, but you didn't commit every day. So if
Right.
you don't want to show it to like publicly, you can create private repository and commit there, because like almost majority of your education, it's connected to SQL, it's connected to Python, it's connected to some projects that you publish here. So when you work on this, at the end of the day, I advise you to commit your code, and it will be much better in this case, more green activity. Because, for example, I'll see it and I think, oh, maybe this guy learned, I don't know, like here 19th of September, and then only month after this. Yeah, so my advice is to be consistent on LinkedIn, and your LinkedIn may play for you. About the projects, I briefly look at it. My advice is for you. I don't remember what, like stock analysis. I think there. So my advice for you: show not only that you know Python. Okay, I see this code. I understand that. Yeah, you know Python, how to deal with it, and so on. But I didn't saw analysis. What I mean, what for example, I don't know where the visualization and so on. There, I didn't see it. But so why company pay for data analyst? It's not only because data analyst can say what happened. It's also because like what happened. It's, in my view, a hard skill. So you can grab data set, you can visualize it, and you can say, okay, our revenue in November dropped and less on 10% than our revenue in October, and so on. So yeah, because you as a data analyst had access to database, you can grab this old data, you can visualize it, and create some report, dashboards for manager, and so on. But the most valuable skill for data analyst is when data analyst try to explain why this happened
Yeah.
and what we have to do with it. It's like the main answers. And to be honest, I didn't see in it. To be
Yeah,
honest, I
there
didn't
wasn't
see
any.
what happened, because I didn't see any feedback from this code. But I didn't see any conclusions, any insights and so on with it. So you just like working with this data set, which is, to be honest, it is hard to say what you do it without looking on some graph, without having some text explanation. And of course, so every your project with the as data analyst project have to finish with conclusions. So when you explain for a hypothetical reader what happened and what you find, so you spend, for example, I don't know, like 10 hours on this project. So what your conclusions? What you, for example, if you will have some meetings with product manager, with some CEO of this company, what you will explain to them and what you advise them to do? Because like all research or analysis that you provide, someone, stakeholders, CEO, product manager, have to make decision based on your research. And it's not enough just to show some table, not enough just to show some graph. It's you have to try at least try to explain what happened and why this happened and what we should do with it. And you try to deal like this with every project. So for me, it is hard, to be honest, because I will stop this sharing. Yeah, it is very hard because sometimes you have to dig very deeply on it to understand, and sometimes even I can't explain why it is happened. I just may show the numbers and said, okay, I can't understand it, I can explain and so on. But you have to try, at least try to do it. And this is some soft skills that for now I try to learn. It is also one of my biggest problem as a data analyst, because I'm not always can explain why this happened, but I try to do it every time.
Right.
Do you have any question?
Sure, yeah.
For now?
Absolutely. I'm more clear now on what to do. As I said, yeah, I've also been thinking about this voice and all that. And all of those codes, the projects that I did there were just the follow-ups of the YouTube videos that I've watched. And from now on, I'll start doing that. I've been working on a SQL project by myself, and it's been around 3 to 4 days, and still working on it. I've been trying, as the queries are basic, but getting that why out of them is kind of hard. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's hard, and it's something that you will be learning from all your life, I believe, because with the time the task will be more complicated, and this is a process that you will continue time and time. I advise you to look on Kaggle not only for data set, but in every data set, if this data set is popular, if it's popular enough, there is section code in every data set, and all the people who already analyze this data set. And you can learn by reading their code, by looking on their explanation and so on, because it sometimes give you a lot of insights. For me, it is one of the best, how to say, I don't know, like school, university, when you like have this data set. For example, maybe there's some data sets that you already work with, and you can see all the perspective. So, for example, this data set, you worked with it, but this data set, all the analysts received it, and they provide, have all different background, education and skills and so on. And you read some good one, some bad one, and you will learn from them. And it is very good school for me to learn from this stuff and these projects. Yeah. So our question finished?
Yeah. The only last question that I have is, what are the kind of projects that the recruiters look out for? That's it.
What
the kind of projects that attract recruiters.
Can you explain?
Okay, sorry.
Can you repeat, because I missed?
Sorry, I'm audible now.
No, can you repeat it? What is the
kind of projects?
Yeah, it's I understand. It's differ from I think so. If you have some company or some domain that you wanted to go to. For example, in my case, it is game development. I like game development. If I will change my current company to some other company, it have to be also game development because I like this niche, I like this sphere, and so on. So my next projects will be about game development because I already know that I wanted to apply to this kind of company. If you have this like some industries that you like the most, if you have this type of companies that you like the most, you can create projects connected to this. For example, I don't know, if you're interested in blockchain, you can analyze some blockchain data and so on, so to be more relevant for them. Of course, you can use this project and apply it for other company, not only blockchain company, because you already work with Tableau there, and this company looking for someone who know Tableau, and so on and so forth. But if you can try to do projects that very connected to this company, it will be better. Okay, if some company looking for a data analyst who work with A/B testing, of course you have to have projects that when you analyze A/B testing, and so on and so forth. I believe that firstly, if you wanted to be able to apply to a large amount of company, you have to look at the technology. So a lot of company looking for Tableau, for SQL, for Python. You have at least have projects with this technology. But if you wanted to target yourself among others and you wanted to go to especially some industry for like edtech or medtech and so on, you can create projects that connected to this industry, to this sphere. Yeah, because it will be more relevant for this company.
Yeah, true.
It's like I believe with projects, it's like Darwinian fight for survival. So in your portfolio have to be only your best projects. So for example, you have for now you have some Tableau dashboards, but like next month you also will learn till December, and your skill will grow, and you can create better dashboard than it was like in October or in September and so on. And if you create better dashboards, this previous one, the not so good one, have to be removed from your CV. And for example, in January, you also will learn, and if you already have some better skills that it was in November, the worst one projects also have to be removed. So it always have to be the most relevant on your current skills projects, and the bad one have to be removed from your portfolio. And you always have fresh projects in your portfolio, projects that on edge of your skills, the most valuable for you. Okay. So we finished. Yeah. So in future, feel free to reach to me if you collect other questions. If you wanted to discuss something connected to data analytics, I will be glad to talk to you again and to help you. Okay.
Sure. Absolutely.
So have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.